Hello, friends, fellow non-believers in the liberal evolutionary myth. Welcome to Sunday Cinematic Service, an irreverent, hopefully funny, definitely in this case harrowing romp through faith-based cinema with your hosts Marcus,
Heath,
and Chris.
So one of the main ideas behind this podcast was that we would show sort of the whole range of faith-based cinema. That it wasn't just terrible, tacky, sort of agitprop based to, forward an agenda. So this week we watched A Matter of Faith, the 2014 film directed by Rich Christiano. Don't know if that's his real name or if he changed it when he got into the faith-based cinema business, but although the film received raves from the Dove Foundation and the Young Earth Creationist and Christian Apologetics organisation Answers in Genesis, failed to turn a profit on cinematic release, making only $677,000 on a budget of $600,000. One gets the feeling, though, that these kind of films' true home is on Netflix, where we all watched it, or video and more specialised streaming services. So I doubt the filmmakers are really bothered that much about losing a little bit of money on the box office. Or for that matter, the apathy that greeted the film in secular circles. It doesn't even have enough ratings, this film, to get on the tomato meter or on Metacritic. Genuinely forgotten and a perverse choice for our maiden voyage into the grimier side of Christian agitprop cinema. What did we all think? Chris, I'll let you start.
Well, I mean, to say that the film lasted for 90 minutes is something of an understatement. This film seemed to drag on for an eternity, but it kept on finding ways to keep my interest, if that makes any sense. Even though this film was terrible on every single level, like it fails as a film promoting creationism, it fails as a family drama film, it kept on finding ways to kind of keep me interested for its length, which I think is probably maybe giving the film a little bit too much credit, because this is just a giant mess of a film. And that's kind of where I stand at the moment on how I feel about the whole matter of faith business, to be honest.
So we've got one mixed reception. Heath, what did you think?
Okay. When I started watching this film, I thought it was hilarious. There was so much in this that, just from, editing choices to, acting to just, the lines and what people were doing and how people looked and everything, and, stuff in the background, like ADR that they did. Hilarious. But as it continued, I got angrier and angrier. I'm now halfway through a bottle of wine, which I wasn't intending to drink, but I needed it to get through the end of this film. It's a fucking nightmare.
So two mixed receptions, I think. Well, I personally, I would parrot a lot of the same opinions. Obviously, well, our persona is that I'm the sort of Christian to your two atheists.
Yeah.
So I obviously enjoyed the film for catering to my biases. And it may not be technically well made or anything, but it's got powerful moments. I like every time someone makes a point, no matter how silly the point is, the music swells in an emotional way.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack on this is doing half of the work of the film. It picks up where the acting drops off.
Well, a lot of the acting seems to be someone will say something like, Professor Kazan. What's he called? Is it Kazan?
Kamen.
Professor Kamen. He's pretty cool, isn't he? With his radical ideas of evolution. And
Doom.
It'd be and then the woman would just be and give a vague sort of I don't know about that. I'm just a good Christian girl from a town. I'm scared of being at the university.
Yeah, she's from the town, which is a 3-hour drive away from the university. These are the things we know.
Ambiguous for location.
Well, it's because it's a universal story, really. This can appeal to anyone. Anyone who shares the same beliefs as Rich Christiano. So I noticed in the sort of introduction, I didn't even bother really sort of describing the plot, but it's very thin gruel. It's basically like this: a Christian goes to a university, and she struggles for a little bit because the people seem sort of mildly more atheist than she is. Well, this is.
I don't even think that you call them atheists. They're
Well,
just yeah.
Well, this is the interesting thing. So I'd written the introduction, and I was like, shall I include the plot or shall I leave it? Because I thought, I'll watch the film, then describe the plot afterwards. But I was like, the plot is very hard to describe because it seems to be going for, like, the standard thing you do is she goes, everyone's an atheist and she's an outcast. But, like, everyone she encounters is either, like, dumbfounded by, like, the guy with the sort of douchey beard. Like, he'll just say something like, oh, did your grandma look like an ape? And then the guy will be like, oh, whatever, because he can't really argue with, like, logic that good. Like, there's never, like, a strong sense that she's being persecuted, which I was 100% sure there would be.
I was going to say, if anything, she seems, like, almost happier and almost liberated to be, like, away from her parents at university. Like, her teachers seem great, the new people she's meeting seem fun, and she's getting away from a kind of domineering and controlling Christian mother and father. And it's like, clearly these guys, the mother and father, don't care for her well-being because they don't even think to ask and check kind of what courses she's taking. Like, she's taking biology, and it doesn't occur to these fundamentalist Christian nutjobs that, oh wait, my daughter's doing biology, maybe evolution will come up. Like, it comes as a shock to them that they teach scientific evolution in schools and more specifically at universities. The fact that this is a shock to them is just, it's so frustratingly unrealistic. It's like, you feel like you've stepped into a nightmare, which ultimately damages the film's ultimate point, if you know what I mean. So it's trying to be this tirade against evolution and championing in creationism, but ultimately it fails in that regard because the parents are painted as just being like dunderheaded idiots, and the teacher, who we'll get into a bit later, seems like a perfectly reasonable guy. Like, he makes valid points, he makes sense, but the attempt to paint him as basically kind of being the antagonist of the film, and it just doesn't work on any kind of level whatsoever.
Now, I'll issue a little bit of pushback against that, though, because, the parents may want to control, what she thinks, what ideas she has, is presented with. But I don't know if you got, like, the subtle indication, the man she was dating was trying to make a move at the party. So I think that does sort of, you can understand where they're coming from there. If she's exposed to this guy's move, what will happen next? Like,
yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, it's quite clear that he has some sort of nefarious purpose, perhaps to maybe procreate with her. I'm not sure. I'll have to consult my Bible. But, it is really sort of, it's weak sauce. I know I was about to say thin gruel, but I think that's been used too much. It's weak sauce. This is absolute weak sauce. All of this film. Like, essentially, he's like, yeah, I'm going to make my move on her at the party. It's like, it's not like it's some sort of like, oh, I got these roofies online and I'm going to put them in a drink in the thing and da-da-da-da-da. No, he's just going to, try and make a move. But as if this girl doesn't have any sort of thought or agency of her own. Like, as soon as he makes the move, she's just going to fall into bed with him, and like that'll be the end of it.
Now, you see, I think that's mild. I think that the rich Christiano you were saying his brother, like, it's written by another Christiano.
Yeah.
I think this is written by people who do not fundamentally understand either how people talk when they're at university, who are like a bunch of men, or how they act. I genuinely think the character's motivation in this film is to hold a hand at a party.
So you think
Really?
that the guy is just looking to hold a hand?
So I reckon
want to do some
that's
Beatles shit.
Yeah, I reckon that's sort of what's in the Cristiano's head. It's like they're like he wants to hold her hand, or like it'll be something incredibly meek that they're imagining. Like, well, it's just hilarious, isn't it? The idea that these people are like, they're like young men in the late teens, early 20s. They hang around with each other, and it's just like, whoa, did you talk to that woman? Whoa, like, did you make a move yet? Oh, it's like, they don't talk about anything specific at all. Like, it's exactly what you'd imagine. Like, it's like Ned Flanders' imagination of what, like, college would be. Well, you went to university. Was this what it was like?
This is exactly what it was like. Yeah. We all stood around all day, you know, all the girls that we liked who were like, have you held a hand yet? Have you made a move on it yet? And I mean, I just want to discuss briefly why the main character of this film is a psychopath. I mean, the way she introduces herself to the boy that she likes is through this bizarre, what can I describe as like a ritual, where she cracks 3 eggs over his head as like a dare. And that's like a lead-in to start talking to him. And he just, instead of being like horrified by this, like, I'm not talking to her ever again, she cracked a couple eggs over my head, he's like, oh yeah, that's my sauce, that's my thing. I mean, no, I mean, and the way the university's shot is terrible, and like, it's also overlaid, like, fucking episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer look better than this. And I love Buffy, so.
Obviously, you missed the main point of that, is that the cracking of the eggs was set up by his friends so that he would have an excuse to sort of guilt her into potentially talking to him. Oh my god.
Truly, this is like the model Animal House or something in terms of a portray. Like, that's another hilarious thing, isn't it? This is the idea of someone at college doing a prank, just like smashing an egg over someone's head, like.
Yeah, it's as I said, everything is weak sauce in this. It's just everything just falls short, goes flat. Like, and the best thing about it is, because of that, everything is hilarious. Like, I really enjoyed the film up until the point where the arguments started being made. And that's where it just fucking lost me. And you know, I don't know whether you could hear Chris as you're away, but like I was breathing I was doing breathing exercises, trying to calm myself down and that sort of thing, with like some of the things that were being said. It was just it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. But it gets more ridiculous as sort of the debate goes. But like, I personally feel that like this film falls far short of being like so bad it's good, because I think that like a good sort of Christian so bad it's good film, like God's Not Dead or Left Behind or something like that, has to commit so thoroughly to this idea that like we are a persecuted minority. Like this film doesn't seem to sort of muster the like passion that other films do. Even Passion of the Christ, which was obviously so ludicrously over the top, I think that's kind of a more so bad it's good film in a way. Even though it's obviously, you know, miles better made, like the sort of how ridiculously over the top that film is and of what it portrays, like that to me is more interesting than this film's like incredibly weak. Like, oh well, nothing's true. Like, how do you prove this? Like, whoa, like anything to add, Chris, with how do you find this film so bad it's good, or merely slightly dull?
In all honesty, I actually had a really good time watching this film. Like, it was so terrible, and it was so. The only thing that stops me from saying so bad it's good is that I do think the message of the film is genuinely quite insidious. Like, you know, you can't, you know, don't think for yourself. You know, don't listen to these scientists. Don't listen to the facts. Listen to this maybe kind of crazy man who basically at the end of the film, and we'll get into it a little bit later, but, you know, the film concludes with a debate between creationism and evolution. And someone comes on stage, and basically he concludes that, well, since we've never seen a kangaroo turn into a dog, how do we know that evolution even exists? We've never seen it. And I think in the age of Donald Trump, where the whole concept of the truth and facts are in flux, it just makes the message of the center of his film so insidious and just cringeworthy that even though I enjoyed the film a lot, it's not going to join the shelf of so bad it's good films that I'll go back to time and time again. It's no Room or Dungeons and Dragons, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, you'd never watch
yeah,
this
it's
film
just-
twice.
Oh God, no, yeah, definitely not. I'd never have any inkling to rewatch this film. Um, I mean, as I said, there were certain aspects which, as I said, I did. I pretty much agree with Heath. I was on board with it. I was finding it a hilarious romp until the debate started, and then it was like, right, okay, this is what it's all been building up to, and you just left with a sick pit at the bottom of your stomach. Um, and yeah, that's my experience of it. So I guess a bit of a mixed response. It is so bad it's good, but only for like the first hour, and then it just shoots itself in the foot multiple times.
Actually, I on the debate part. I was once it gets to the debate, I was pretty much in full rage mode at that point. Like the bits leading up to it, like all the little bits leading up to it. The like you mentioned it before. Does your mother look like an ape? Does your grandmother look like an ape? Does your great grandmother look like an ape? I'm sat there going, yeah, actually, you know what? We all look like apes because we are fucking apes. Like, just because we have less hair on us does not mean that we're not fucking apes.
To be fair, his underbeard makes him look like an ape as well.
It does,
More than
it
most
does.
people. Like, they should have really made him shave if they wanted to make that point. But I do think it is interesting though. Like, well, the debate is kind of where the most sort of like meat is in this film. So as you say, yeah, someone interrupts and they basically go like, "Well, you claim to be able to prove this, but you can't really prove it, can you? Like, there's no definitive proof. I mean, we can't prove what we believe either, but it makes us feel better than your truth does." And like, I think it is kind of interesting. Like, you bring up like Donald Trump and the sort of like non-truth now, but like, I think this film really shows that like people have been trafficking in that for like decades. Like, it is this kind of almost postmodernist like there is no truth, so why believe this? Like, you may as well believe the thing that makes you feel better. And I feel like that's kind of like that is sort of the bedrock of most kind of like belief in a way. It's like, well, there is no objective truth, not this science doesn't make you feel any better. Why not just believe like any old crap essentially? Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like probably at this point it might be good to kind of preface kind of in a bit more detail about like the plot of the film and kind of actually what happens. So as we mentioned, this girl goes to university, and she's confronted by all these crazy liberal ideas, and her parents are shocked to find out that the teacher of a biology class teaches about evolution in a class that's dedicated to human biology, where that kind of thing might come up. So the dad is very upset by this, and he storms to the school and he demands to speak to this crazy radical teacher teaching about facts and evidence in his biology class. And so the teacher, in my opinion, quite reasonable terms, outside of the general smugness, which is the character's only fault, challenges the dad to have a debate. He says, "Well, clearly you're passionate about how you feel. How about me and you get up on stage and we'll have a debate?" And the dad's like, "Oh, I've kind of never debated before, ever." So he kind of goes into full. We don't even get a fun montage scene, which is what I wanted, of the dad preparing for this speech. That this debate is going to have. We don't even get anything like that. And ultimately he's worried that he's going to lose his daughter because she's not consulting a Bible as much. And the conclusion is basically, education can destroy your faith. And that's again one of the more insidious overriding themes of the film that comes out. So it all slowly builds up to this debate that's going to happen, and along the way the dad discovers truths about this Professor Kamen, who's the crazy biology teacher, learns some truths. He meets a former professor who used to work at the university who's disillusioned by education because he's out of the game. He speaks like he's a character from The Wire, which is just ridiculous to me. So he's out of the game, because he tried teaching creationism concepts in a university lecture hall. I mean, I'm all for, people communicating their different points of view, of course, and hearing people out, but the film basically paints this as being like an insidious act that, this teacher's not allowed to to teach creationism in his biology class, and that's the reason why he was let go. Yeah, I can only express myself in garbled sound effects from this point. It's just so toxic and kind of sickening, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the one of the things in it is that it's framed, I think, to make Dr. Kamen seem like a bad guy. And can I also just point out that out of all of the characters in this film, we only remember the name of Dr. Kamen.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of them have no fucking idea what their names are. But yeah, Dr. K, like the creationist biology professor is blaming Dr. Kamen for him being like fired, and it's like that's obviously ridiculously, patently false. Like it's almost like the causation. Correlation equals causation fallacy. Like, Dr. Kamen turned up. This guy was, and then he got fired. So it must have been Dr. Kamen's fault. Perhaps it was that you were teaching creationism in a biology class, like, and in university, no less. Like, you know what? If you want to teach creationism to, like, primary school children, fine. They believe in Santa. They believe in the Easter Bunny. They believe in lots of fucking bullshit, alright? It's fine. You can teach them that. They'll fucking grow out of it. But if you go to university and go, yeah, no, I don't want to teach this well-researched scientific theory of evolution. No, I'm going to teach this thing in the Bible that has not been proven, has not been tested, has not been researched one fucking iota in the scientific community. I'm going to teach that. Why shouldn't you be fired from your job?
But Heath, hold on, you've not answered though. Can you definitively prove there's no God?
No.
Well then,
But
what I say to the listener now, Heath cannot prove there is no God, thereby God exists.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's essentially the argument at the end. You can't disprove God. It's that thing, isn't it, where, like, you know, is proving a negative? Is that what they say?
Yeah. So the burden of proof is on the person who says that something exists. Yeah. So you can't disprove it. So I can't prove a negative. So I can't say that God doesn't exist. It's in the same way, like, if you're talking about in regards to, like, the legal system. Right. So I say that you stole something from me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I say that you've stolen something from me, but I have no proof to indicate that you've stolen something from me, and if you go, well, I have no proof to show that I didn't steal something from you, that doesn't immediately mean that you are guilty. Just because I've accused you of something, the burden of proof falls to me to prove that you have stolen something from me. It's the same thing with the whole God debate.
Wait. So you're trying to compare Christians to thieves now?
Yes.
Listener, my opponent in this debate is resorting to dirty tactics. He can't prove God, therefore God exists. Now I choose to walk away from the debate, not allowing a retort, therefore I win.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes down in the film. He gets up. I'm going to refer to him as Wise Black Man.
Wise Black Man, yeah.
Because,
WBG.
Yep, that is WBG.
Wise Black Man. Sorry, I was thinking guy. WBM.
So he gets up and he you know, again, like, there were two things that I sort of called in this film.
Both correctly.
Wise Black Man comes in to save the debate, and we'll get to the other. I don't want to spoil it just yet for people because, you know, it is magical.
Magical Black Man.
Yeah, Magical Black Man comes in. He, you know, Dad is doing really bad in the debate. He's a bad dad at debating. And So, but as far as I can tell, to be perfectly honest, he wasn't doing that badly in the debate.
No, he just had like a very worried look, like, oh,
Yeah.
how do I respond to this?
He kind of just ran out of ideas. Like, it seems like the what little of the debate montage that we got, the debate training montage that we got, was pretty much everything that he wrote down for this debate.
Yeah.
Like, the debate training montage goes on for 30 seconds. So I think that's it. That's all he went prepared for.
He did read some textbooks, he says, in dialogue.
He did. But then, the other professor, he comes in, the one that's fired for teaching creationism. He's like, I will speak for this man. And he gets up and he just basically does an appeal to emotion. He's just like, oh, how can we live with ourselves if we don't believe in Jeebus? And then walks off the stage, and with dad, with debatey dad, and he just walks off the stage, and the Dr. Kamen's Professor Kamen's just stood there, and the moderator goes, "Oh, do you have anything else to say?" And Professor Kamen goes, "No," and then sort of looks off to the left wistfully, like as if implying that he has been swayed by this
Well,
again, I'm using it, weak source argument.
Well, he does look at his chicken mournfully.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. So right at the end of the film, when he, because at the start of the film, he asks his students, so what came first, the chicken or the egg? And he pulls out like a rubber chicken and an egg. And he goes, the egg. So at the end of the film, when he pulls out and looks at the rubber chicken, that's the hint that he now believes that the chicken came first.
This is another thing that sort of irritates me about this film. And to be perfectly honest, to expect better from these people is my own fault. Like, I don't know why I watched this film going, they're going to actually represent the argument correctly. They're not ever. It's just not going to happen. But essentially, bringing up this whole chicken and an egg thing in an evolutionary sense, there is no chicken and there is no egg. Basically, what you have is a gradient of organisms, one from the other. So there is no chicken, there is no egg. Basically, what you have is a animal that, like, if you want to talk about it, closely resembles a chicken. Mm-hmm. It lays an egg. Due to mutations, something else more resembling a chicken comes out. It lays an egg. And so on and so forth, until you have a fucking chicken.
Yeah.
So there is no chicken or egg argument, all right? There's just other animals that aren't chickens.
Well, this is what I find so fascinating about, like, both this film and sort of mainstream sort of Christian thought. Like, why do they even bother engaging in an argument like this, where they're like, they don't concede that, like, the science is wrong. They seem to admit this. In this film, they do it. They go, you're not what you're saying is not wrong. It's just that you can't definitively prove it. They're essentially saying that, like, well, your science explains it to a point, but not completely. Therefore, everything's wrong. Like, this is what I mean, though, about not finding this film as interesting as something that would go, like, completely off the deep end. Like, wouldn't this film be more interesting if, like, the college life was, like, completely, like an exploitation film? It was, like, completely, like, sinful and, like, destructive. And then, like, the arguments were, like, well, why do we even bother arguing about, like, science and belief? Why not, like, I think it's true and Jesus taught... Like, those, to me, are more interesting arguments because, like, this stuff is just, it's completely ridiculous, isn't it? They concede half the argument by going... Like, they're trying to basically win on the same kind of, like, well, you can prove it to a little bit, but not fully, therefore it's not real at all. Like, when you already give halfway to the argument, I feel like you've already lost, which I think is what these people... You know what I mean? Like, why try and make it about, like... It's almost like they're trying to scientifically prove God rather than just say, well, it's just belief kind of thing, like... Which I've always just found incredibly odd and weird about sort of why try and make this argument? You must know you can't win.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, that's the ultimate failure of the film, is that it ultimately fails to make its point. It wants to try and paint the professor, as in the evolutionary professor, as being like this terrible antagonist, but the film doesn't effectively build that up. So it fails as a piece of drama, and it fails as a piece of fundamentalist Christian propaganda. It pretty much fails on all fronts to make its points effectively and efficiently, and that's the ultimate problem with the film. As I said, if this was as you said it, as this was a creationist defending film, and they made their point effectively, then fair play to them. Their film succeeded. It validates what a bunch of people believe already, and can poo-poo those who believe in evolution. But this film is just a weird miasma in the middle, where it's not effective at really anything. It's almost like they didn't know what they were doing.
Well, the thing is though, with this film, and I suppose what you need to understand is that the audience that is going in to see this film are Christians, are dyed-in-the-wool, evangelical Christians, right? So essentially, they don't need to it's the sort of preaching to the choir thing. They don't really need to try too hard with these people. Essentially, all they need to do is make the liberal scientist people look stupid. Okay, look like they have no case, no leg to stand on, that sort of thing. And they do that in this film. They do, but the majority of it is done by absolutely misrepresenting any argument. Nothing in this film is an argument that anyone with any idea of evolutionary science would put forward. Like, for example, they conflate the Big Bang
with evolution.
They conflate, like, they say that evolution describes the origin of life. It doesn't. That's absolutely got nothing to do with evolution. Evolution says nothing about the origin of life. And then they talk about sort of abiogenesis, like things, like life coming from inorganic matter. This has not been proven. It's been studied, it's been looked at, but nothing has been proven on this. We have no idea where life actually started, and any scientist will tell you that they have no idea where life comes from, but they represent it, that it's all encapsulated in the evolutionary theory, which is just patently wrong.
Well, this is what's so interesting and all. Like, Christianity is not inherently opposed to evolution, really. Like, you could say God created the earth and then evolution did after it. Like, there's nothing in the that's an argument you could make. I'd probably disagree with it, but it is true though. There's nothing to say that you couldn't have evolution and also God creating the world.
Yeah, absolutely right. Like even the Big Bang. Like, I know I'm bringing this up after saying, conflating it, but even the Big Bang doesn't preclude God. Like, God could have been the primary mover that started the Big Bang. God could be the thing that started life on Earth, and then evolution proceeded after this. These things don't preclude each other. And the thing that I find so sort of maddening about it is that if Christians actually, I'm not going to say Christians and blanket them all, but sort of the evangelical Christians who are against the Big Bang, who are against evolution, if they actually just knew what it was about, they could actually square this away with their faith pretty easily and understand that it may not be exactly what was said in the Bible, but it's something that could work within the paradigm of their faith. It is maddening to me. Am I going to rant for a bit more? Because I've got more to rant about.
No, we'll give Chris a chance to retort. I've got some things to say about that bit as well.
About that bit, yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's a whole, as you said, there's a whole reason why with, like, the certain projects we call what we're searching for, the God particle. You're right, like, the two things don't have to be necessarily separate. It is, it's one of them things that's just up in the air for debate, and, as I said, that if the film effectively made its point, then fair enough, but all it does is just validate that fundamentalist Christian crowd, and, they'll see a character like a liberal professor and think, "Ooh, these are the dangers of sending our offspring out into the world," and all this kind of bag of tricks. And yeah, it's more just frustrating. It's the denial of any kind of facts and not wanting to bend or listen to kind of other people's perspectives. And yeah, as you said, that the film ultimately does is fairly damaging and disrespectful to people on all sides. But I'm looking forward to hearing what Marcus has to say as his retort. He had a couple of things to say.
Well, mainly I think that this has sort of like got me more sort of what I'm trying to say with it not being like so bad it's good or like interesting is like I think that like a great, because this is essentially a propaganda film. It's as much a propaganda film as, I don't know, Triumph of the Will, Battleship Potemkin, something like that. I cannot imagine anyone like. I think the point of a propaganda film should be to like mobilize your audience against like an enemy. I just do not think that like the portrayal of like the liberal professor is strong enough to get anyone. I couldn't imagine being like a hardcore Christian and seeing this film and being like, oh god, those bloody liberals in those colleges that. And I know obviously they fire the wise black man. But that's it really. They don't do anything that's that kind of like, it doesn't go in enough, I don't think, to portray the liberal people as monsters or like young people as depraved. Like everyone seems incredibly tolerant of her views. Not a single student acts any differently to her knowing she's Christian. In fact, they're so polite. Like the guy who's trying to get with her, he doesn't even stop trying to get with her because she's Christian. All they do is go, oh, she seems a little Christian, and he goes, oh no, it's fine. It just, again, it's such weak sauce, it's such thin gruel. I just can't imagine, even if you went in trying to be mobilized against the people you hate, I just think it fails as propaganda as well as anything else. Like, I don't understand who the target audience for the film is.
Well, no, the target audience for the film, as I said before, is people who are already converted. Essentially, it's not trying to convert anyone. It is a warm blanket around the shoulders of evangelical Christians. That's what it is. Though, to be perfectly fair, I don't think even then it's done that well.
This is what I mean though. Like, I understand it's made for those people, but it just doesn't seem like strong enough to get those people like incensed. As you say, it's a warm blanket. It's not a film that's going to make you go out and do anything. Like, the point of propaganda should be to get people to go out and, like, what is the point of Christian cinema? If it's just to sort of, like, it should be, I think, good propaganda should be to try and get you to forward a political message, or at least get you to do something. Like, what is the point of this film? Is anyone going to, like, try and go out and sort of fight against the cause or anything? It is just, like, the reason I don't think it works particularly well is, unlike something like God's Not Dead, which portrays this sort of vast labyrinthian sort of, everything seems against Christianity in this. Even in God's Not Dead 2, where they have to go to like the courts to try and sue, like that at least is a portrayal of the world so paranoid you can discuss it, get behind it. Like, I just think this film is so woolly, even in portraying like the people they ostensibly hate. It stops going into sort of being like so interesting kind of thing. Like,
yeah, well, no, you're right, and it is probably why sort of God's Not Dead has risen to the top of the pile of sort of these Christian sort of propaganda films. So as you were talking, I was thinking maybe the Christiano brothers they didn't like maybe this wasn't propaganda to them. Maybe they were just like, we're gonna tell this story about what it's like for young Christian kids going to college with all these like liberals and their free thinking and their ideas and the potential like sex or hand holding or maybe it was like a completely earnest representation of what they think like modern college life is like.
To bring in a metaphor that Chris used earlier, I don't think it's the Donald Trump of cinema. Gonna go out on a limb. I think it's the Hillary Clinton of cinema.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like you've got her, foolery in the middle, sort of centrist. It's like we don't believe in division. We want to work with everyone. Like this film seems to be, because it's so woolly in like what it's portraying. It seems to be like, don't hate these people. We're in the right anyway. Like it just seems to be like this film again. The film, ironically, I think is Smug, not Dr. Kazan or whatever. Kamen, Dr. Kamen. I think there doesn't seem to be a call to action. It doesn't work as propaganda. This film is like a summer blockbuster kind of thing. You watch it, you forget about it, and it ultimately doesn't rise to the level of... Well, we were talking about before seeing this, like Neil Breen. He presents a worldview, everyone's out to get you. The politicians fail, TV fails, everything's out, it lies to you. So that's interesting. This film, because it sort of pushes everything into this one character, it just becomes a simple kind of story to, if we defeat this one professor, we've won, or we win at the end, everything's fine. It just doesn't work for me as kind of like an interesting one. I'll probably not even remember this film tomorrow.
No, I absolutely agree with you, and I see why you would. I'm just sort of playing, devil's advocate, if you will, on this film. I absolutely abhor this film. I was really having a good time with it at the start, and then it just descended. Like, I don't know how long I screeched before. Like, I think I ranted for a solid, 3 minutes there about everything in this film. And I've still got more to say about this film, in regards to, just how fucking bullshit it is. But,
anything to say about it failing as propaganda, Chris?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think you've quite neatly summed it all up there. I mean, I've kind of said that already, that ultimately it fails to paint the quote-unquote negative characters in a truly negative light. The only people who kind of come off ironically bad in the film are the dumb parents, you know what I mean? The ones who are trying to spread this, they just come across as moronic, misguided, and they don't really have a clue what's going on in their daughter's life. And so it fails on pretty much every conceivable level you can think of. It fails at. That's pretty much it. I feel like I'm kind of done with this film because it is just fucking atrocious. It's just awful. I mean, as I said, I agree with you. I was having a blast with the film at first with how terrible the dialogue was. I loved the terrible character of Evan who kept on appearing out of nowhere. But I just feel like I'm done. Because the more you think about the film, the more insidious the underbelly to it is, and it just makes you sick.
I have to agree. This is it is probably one of the worst pieces of trash I've ever seen. We've brought up God's Not Dead a few times. I honestly, I don't know whether you guys seen God's Not Dead. I don't think you have.
Just several clips. I feel like I've probably seen the whole thing through clips.
Yeah. But it's hyperbolic and stupid and weird, but at least it's sort of entertaining throughout. This film is just does not represent the science properly. It does not represent. I don't think it represents Christianity properly either.
No, definitely not, no.
Oh, it doesn't even make a strong case for Christianity. Actually, something that I did want to bring up, you were talking about the apologetics group, Answers in Genesis.
Yeah.
Who is run
raved about this, 5 out of 5.
As well they should, because Ken Ham runs Answers in Genesis, and essentially a majority of the arguments put forward from the Christian side are Ken Ham's arguments.
Yeah.
They've essentially taken from his playbook and William Lane Craig's playbook on debating these topics. But the thing is, again, I say it again, it's such weak sauce. Like, not compared to Ken Ham. Ken Ham's a bit of a fucking idiot. But, like, William Lane Craig, great debater. He's a great thinker. He's a Christian, which is probably the only thing that's against him, really. Like, and they misrepresent, like, the arguments that they make. They misrepresent the science. And all you're left with is just a ball of hate in the pit of your fucking stomach, and all you want to do is scream. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now.
Yeah, I think we've summed up everything with this film. I personally, would not actually let's put this out on the table. Worst film we've seen for the podcast so far.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
By far.
I feel quite bad for you as well, Chris, because me and Heath got to watch Life of Brian, good film. Four Lions, amazing film. So you've only watched this and Passion of the Christ, dreadful films both.
Yeah.
But think of Passion of the
Christ.
Christ.
Something about regret.
Yeah, but think of Passion of the Christ. Jews in that film, portrayed horribly, monstrously, cartoonishly. It's quite an infamous bit. There's just nothing in this film that captures sort of the hateful characters in that. That film obviously is repellent, but at least you go away knowing who your villain is and the people you're supposed to hate if you're the target audience for the film. This film, I think, is just confused and can't get that level of passion for it. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend watching this film, even ironically. It's not worth watching. Well, we enjoyed the first. Maybe turn it off after 40 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't think it can actually do that. I think it's one of the things about the film. It kind of hooks you, and you kind of want to see how it ends, but you also kind of know how it's going to end, and so you are caught in this sort of struggle. By the way, just so you don't need to, I think we've already talked about it. Has the debate, daddy debaters debating Professor Kamen. Professor Kamen, in the vernacular of the internet, pones. Daddy debater gets up, wise black man gets up on stage, appeal to emotion. Basically, then everyone's like, oh, Christianity's great, wonderful, even Professor Kamen's Christianity's great. Then there's a sort of epilogue, I suppose, where the
Evan.
What?
Evan?
Evan.
I can't remember another character's name, mainly because you made disparaging comments about his sexuality.
Oh my god, Evan is so fucking gay. Anyway, beside the point, gay Evan.
Gavin.
So basically, if we go sort of back in the film, there's this story about 50 cents, not the rapper, but the denomination of coin, and the main girl, and someone stealing it from him, and and then basically it just turns out that it was Gavin the whole time, and he stole it, and that's how he found Jesus, and that's wonderful, and they're supposed to be together. Basically, that's it. That's the film. All right, you don't need to watch it now.
Yeah, never watch this film. Surely you must agree, Chris.
Oh God, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it was. I feel like I've already wasted. Well, no, I feel like I never waste time watching a film, but this is the closest I've ever felt to thinking, oh my God, I could have spent any other way with my time. But I'm glad that I've watched it to a degree. I've just said that because we've had fun to a degree debating it and discussing it. But my God, I mean, I never want to think about this film ever again. To be honest, after this discussion, I won't be adding it to the DVD shelf. That's for sure.
Well, I think you'd actually struggle to find it on DVD in the UK. I think it Netflix exclusive really over here.
Yeah, it'd have to be. I can't imagine that you'd find it in a DVD shop anywhere.
Maybe CX.
Yeah. Someone had bought it, and then it was just oh God, what have I done? I thought this was going to be an interesting documentary on belief and evolution and whatnot. Because the cover is kind of sort of documentary-esque. It's like the monkey with the like grabbing the girl's hand. So I can imagine, I can see how you would be sort of drawn in by that. But yeah, it is just absolutely appalling, abhorrent crap, and I do not recommend anyone watch this. I think the only people that should watch this are like if you're some sort of like Christian hate group, some sort of atheist Christian hate group, and you like want to psych yourself up to go punch some Christians. Absolutely, put this on; it'll get you there.
Yeah, that's it really. Like, yeah, don't watch this film. But I feel so bad for you, Chris, having to sit through both of these films. I think next time you're on the show, could be next week, could be after, who knows. I think we should watch a great film. I'd say, have you seen Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker?
I've not, but I was going to say, can I pick the film?
Yeah, you can pick the film if you want. You won't find a better one than that, but go on. What would you... Oh, I think I know what you're going to choose, but say it.
Oh, mate, bloody Prince of Egypt is better than your Tarkovsky shit.
That's a sci-fi film that deals with faith. Ugh.
You know, I'm.
You're on board for Prince of Egypt.
I'm on board for Prince of Egypt. I don't think Prince of Egypt could possibly make me as angry as this film has, and I don't know about Stalker.
Stalker's amazing.
I'm sure it's amazing, but like, will it raise my ire? That's what I want to know.
No, it deals with faith in an incredibly like. It's very good. Like you could watch it without seeing it through a faith angle and still enjoy it.
You keep just saying it's very good.
Well, I don't want to give anything away about the plot without actually, before seeing it. We'll watch Stalker at some point, but yeah, we'll give you a break and watch Prince of Egypt, which is on Netflix as well. So
good to know.
What is it Prince of Egypt about? I actually know nothing. Come on, educate me, Chris. Give us a taste the next time you're on.
It's the story of Moses done in the style of a Disney animated musical.
With Val Kilmer.
With Val Kilmer, Ray Fiennes. It's got a wonderful cast. It's just a great movie. It's like the polar opposite of like this piece of trash, where it takes a genuinely quite interesting story in the Bible, it kind of cuts out a lot of the more questionable Christian stuff and just tells a great story about two brothers who are torn apart by conflicting ideology. It's easily the best version of a Moses story, and I think it'd be kind of interesting to look at a film, because I don't think we've done one so far which is directly based on an aspect of the Bible.
Calm down. We don't want to give it all away. All right, why buy the cow when you could get the milk for free, Chris? Come on.
Indeed.
But yeah, next time you're on, we'll do Prince of Egypt. Me and Heath will cover maybe a Patreon one, maybe not. A film you've never heard of this, have you?
Oh no, no, I have actually heard of this.
Have you?
Yes, Esther Smerkel.
Esther Smerkel, yeah. 50 minutes long, so hopefully, mercifully shorter than this film. This film felt longer than 80 minutes, I thought. Especially, I found it quite heavy going in a way.
Yeah, no, it was. And I said it while we were watching it. It is basically at the point where you sort of get about 2/3 away through the second act, and then it's just like molasses. It's just like you hit a wall and you're like, oh my god. And I was probably about 5 minutes into that point. I was just like, how much more of this film is left to go? It was well paced to begin with. Things were going along, things were moving, and then it just hits a point, and it's just like, oh my god, what, like, eternity is stretching out in front of me.
But yeah, and
Oh
yeah, if we can't get a full episode out of the Merkel, whatever it is, I'm thinking Religulous.
Religious.
Yeah, we'll do that as the next non-Chris one. Oh, but Chris and all, we've got on the pipeline. So after we've done Prince of Egypt, what do you think about the Apple?
Oh yeah. I want to be around for the Apple one, definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, we've got stuff. Yeah, we've got the next few weeks planned there anyway. Yeah. But yeah. Thank you for suffering with us from this film.
we'll watch some films that you like. We'll do that.
Yay!
You like the Apple, right?
I love the Apple. The Apple's like one of my all-time favorites. So bad it's good movies.
I think Marcus is actually in the minority with that.
Why?
Yeah, well, I like the Apple.
Oh no, Chris doesn't think it's. You don't think it's a good film, though, do you, Chris?
Oh God, no.
Really? Okay, all right, yeah, all right.
You're the minority.
Here we go. This is gonna be the title fight, right? Me and Chris fighting over the Apple.
Oh, okay. No, I agree it's entertaining. I agree it's entertaining.
Anyway, we'll leave it.
Okay. But yeah, but anyway, neither of you have conclusively proven that God doesn't exist. Therefore, I think we should stop the podcast here. Neither retort. I win the debate. We're now going. Goodbye, fans. No one else can speak now. God exists. You can't prove otherwise. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.